are welcome to share your story and inspire others. I am Fiona Brennan, your host. I'm a personal success coach, founder of Inspire Action Success, and here in conjunction with Global Maps Events, I share with you beautiful stories from heart-centered entrepreneurs around the globe. This show is for entertainment purpose only, and the views of our guests are not necessarily the views of Inspire Action Success or MAPS Global Events. Enjoy. Hey everybody, how are you? Welcome again to another episode of Share Your Story to Inspire Others. And today I am absolutely delighted and honored to be joined by a person who has just inspired me completely through listening to his story. And I really wanted to share him with you in the hope that he will help either you or somebody that you know. So that person is wonderful, Marc Bestjen, and Marc is based in Brussels. In Belgium. Marc, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you, Fiona, and thank you to all the persons who are listening.
Excellent, great. Marc, you are, I suppose, at the moment you're a counselor / coach, but that doesn't necessarily define what you do, because you have a whole unique way of helping people, and the people that you help is very specific, who are, I suppose, in chronic suffering with chronic pain on a day-to-day. They're living with chronic pain on a day-to-day basis. And your work is based on personal experience of what you went through, what you've experienced over the last number of years when your life was turned, I suppose, took a complete detour on the work that you were doing. And as a result of that, you now help others. But so it's beautiful, amazing work that you have taken something that was such a challenge and adversary in your life and is now giving to others. So I'm honored to share that here. But let's start maybe with just going back to say when you were, a young lad and you had ventured out into the world, and what you wanted to do at that point, if you would like to share a little piece about that with us.
Yes, thank you, Fiona. I'm 57 years old, so that explains that I worked 25 years for humanitarian missions, Mostly I went with Doctors Without Borders, that many people know. I also work in other NGOs. One of them is Handicap International, and some others that are less known on the field. Also, I work for Doctors of the World. All this during, as I said, 25 years. The input for that was that I wanted to help people. That was my purpose. I felt it very strongly that I needed to help people. But I'm not a medical doctor, so I wanted to work in MSF, Doctors Without Borders, and I went in missions being administrator or financial person in the missions. I also worked in headquarters, mainly dealing with the missions in Asia. That was a very good time, and if some people listening wants to make a career in humanitarian missions, it's really a wonderful career. Why? Because you meet exceptional people helping the other ones who suffer from epidemics, from tsunami, from war, also from guerrilla wars. You meet very astonishing persons that are the beneficiaries, and also the people who work in the field, the nurses, the doctors. They do an incredible work. So I push anyone who wants to go to have such a work to don't hesitate anymore, and please do it. I know that now many people are missing to do the job. So MSF is looking actively for surgeons, nurses, medical people. So it was 25 years traveling a lot, mainly in African countries and also in Asia. It allowed me to to travel so much, to see so many different contexts and people. I really enjoyed it. It was tough, that is true, because you don't count the working hours. You can work in emergency 11, 12 hours every day. For instance, when there is a tsunami or when there was an earthquake somewhere, you really work a lot. That brings you a lot to yourself because you help people, you feel a lot of compassion, and it's I have no word to describe it. It's a wonderful experience, really. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and Marc, to ask you, how do you manage, or how did you manage looking after yourself during those 25 years with such a demand? Like you're caught between your passion to help others, but also you needed to stay well in order to be able to do the work that you do. So how did you manage that?
Yes, it's a very good question that you have, because to help people, we need to be okay and to have some energy. Exactly. Therefore, usually there is one day a week that you do not touch anything relative in relation with the job. That it's easily said, because many times we do not take these holidays. There is also, after 3 months, you get like 10 days or 2 weeks, I don't remember exactly, that you can take to see your family or to go to a neighboring country where you are. What is interesting is that when I worked for MSF, nobody thought about how to keep a good health doing so much. Nobody thought about that till many of us, me included, had a severe burnout. And after seeing so many burnout persons, there is a whole department now within Doctors Without Borders that is dedicated to the health of the expatriates and to put triggers to relate to the health of the person and to immediately act. It was very different a mission that I made at the end of my career there. What I liked, I went in an emergency mission, and head of mission, it's the name of the person coordinating the mission, briefed me and told me, after 4 o'clock evening, you do not work anymore. And she was very serious about this. We could start very early, but at 4 o'clock afternoon, we had to stop for her. And she was making this so important, as if she knew someone is working after this hour, she came and she took the computer from his hand. Also, I saw very recently that people are starting to do yoga when they finish the day, meditation also, that we didn't think about it at the start. And so people make very nice things by themselves or with the headquarter help to be in good, to have a good energy to help the people.
Yeah, yeah. So it was something, so what you're saying is that it was something that maybe wasn't there initially, that even though, you know, you were taking one day off, that didn't always happen. And so maybe the self-care was not great initially when you were there, but they have learned and they've seen and learned from what they've seen. And now it is actually quite an important part of, you know, everyone that comes to work there,
yes, exactly.
You know, that they take really specific time off and are very strict about it, because when you are a giver in that way, it is more challenging to get people to stop, because it feels natural to give. But in order to give, you have to fill yourself up first and be full. You can't give from an empty vessel.
Yes, and what I shall also mention is that within the team, we help each other when we see that the mental health can be in danger. We monitor other people to quickly appreciate if the other expatriate has a need, because he or she will probably have a breakdown, a burnout in the next weeks. Yes, we monitor the others. Yes.
Yeah. Tell me what it was that happened then that turned things around for you in the not in the right direction.
I came back to Brussels and I saw a doctor and made a lot of exams, and I live now with a degenerative illness and daily chronic pain for the last 14 years. So after my 25 years with MSF, I was diagnosed a degenerative illness. And
were you in pain? Were you in pain? Had you started to become sick while you were still working with MSF?
Yes, yes. But my last mission, I needed to be, I don't know the English term, repatriated. Enfin, I needed to be sent back to my country to make, to make exams.
Okay.
And what I did, and it changed totally my life, because I couldn't anymore go in missions. I couldn't neither work in the office. Why? Because this illness is tiring me during the day. I maximum can work 5 hours a day. That is my maximum. Otherwise,
right now right now that's your maximum, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So it changed everything in my life, and I designed my days around the chronic pain, around it. I know that the chronic pain appears at 12 one afternoon, then I need to lie down. And I made a kind of strategy turned around the pain to design my own work. That is not easy for everyone to do, and it wasn't easy for me neither, because many people suffering from pain continue to work as employee to do 8 hours a day, and sometimes they're in a very heavy pain, but they feel like they cannot stop that job, and these people really are suffering a lot. I had the chance that I could speak with my employer when I was diagnosed, and we decided, both employer and me, that I will not work anymore going in missions or in headquarters. It's very logical, because this work is asking and demanding, as you said, a lot of energy that I didn't have anymore in me.
Had you started to notice it building up, that that chronic pain starting to build up for like a year or two before you actually got officially diagnosed?
Yes, it was enough, about 1 year and a half.
Okay.
To get a name to the illness. Yes.
Okay. So you stayed in the missions, trying to push through, trying to keep working when this, I suppose, started for you.
Yes.
Hoping that it would go away, maybe.
Exactly. In my last mission, I cried a lot at the end of the day, because I had this pain, and the team told me, please stop, you cannot continue like that. So I was sent back to Belgium. Rightly, it was the right thing to do. Yes.
And what the condition you have is a generative illness, is it? Is it it's in the DNA, or what is it, or how do you have it, or how did you get it, as they say?
Yes, it is attacking my spine.
Okay.
Yes. So the pain is equal to a tooth pain.
Tooth pain. Okay.
Yes, I can appreciate the level of the pain as equal when you have a tooth pain. But it didn't stop me from searching for something to do. Many people, when when they are diagnosed, they stop their activity. Many. I can understand, of course, because you suffer, you cannot work anymore, but I wanted to see if I can adapt still my wish to help people with that condition that I had at that time.
Mm-hmm. And were you given any remedies, any recommendations to ease the pain, lifestyle changes that would help, or it's a certain level, it doesn't get worse, but it doesn't get better? Describe a little bit about that.
Oh yes, so, of course. The first thing I did was to learn about the pain. What is this, the pain? I wanted to learn what is happening in the body. And I took courses, including neuroscience, but for beginners, I must say. And I learned what is the path between the pain and the interpretation in the brain of this chronic suffering. So I could know what exactly is happening in me. And that was very important because it gave me a kind of living with something that I could understand. Before, I was asking myself, why do I have this? And why do I have now suddenly so much pain? And I didn't have pain 10 minutes ago. I learned to know the pain, what it is exactly at the cellular level. And this really helped me to kind of be able to live with this pain. Because many people, including me at the start, we say, for instance, oh, I have back pain. But what exactly are your symptoms? Where exactly do you feel the pain? It's quite important to know, because if I say I have back pain, for me, it means, or for someone who listens to me, it is as if the whole back is hurting, and it's not the case. It can be, for instance, the upper back that is aching. It can be the lower part. It can be the middle part of the back. And I wanted to know exactly where do I have pain. And that was incredible, because I do not say anymore that my back is hurting. That is a generalization. I could see, as I watch a geographic card, I could say, and I say it now, that a specific area of my back is hurting. It's not the whole back. And for many people, it is like that. Or we say, I have pain in the leg. It's better for you to be precise about where do you have this pain. And that makes you really feeling better, because you can now know exactly where is the specific area where you have pain. And like that, it's generally, it makes the pain weaker, because we are not feeling anymore that the whole back is hurting, but only a specific place. And also what people can do, this is a recommendation that I do. When you are in pain, sit in your favorite chair or lie down on your bed and observe. Observe where exactly do you have this pain. And you will not say anymore that your whole back or your whole leg is hurting. And this is a start to understanding the pain. And recommendation number 2, that is linked to this one, is that I said in the past, I suffer, I have pain. But what is very useful is to note what is triggering this pain, because there is often a trigger, maybe that we work too much or that we are trying to cope with the speed of the life today, and to put better words than I ache, I have pain. For instance, it can be, I feel warm, I feel hot in that area of my body, or I feel, is it giggles in English? I feel a little disturbance, I feel sweating in that area, I feel scratching. So
it's kind of like the word using the word I feel instead of I have.
Yes, exactly.
Just disconnecting, detaching a little bit from it. It's not that you have it, it's just that is the way you feel right now. I feel sad is quite, you might say I feel sad, I feel happy, but actually apply that to the pain. I feel an ache in my arm or in my upper part of my arm, and getting very specific about it.
Yes, you are totally right. The disassociation from the pain, as you mentioned, is very important. So
because you carry it as, it's like when we say something like, and I want to ask you about this actually, I suffer from migraines, or I suffer from anxiety, or I suffer from lower back pain. It's you're identifying with it. Yeah. And it's like part of you. So how can you let it go? How can it ever go away when you've made it part of you? As opposed to saying, pain, there is pain, or what would be the way of saying it, instead of anxiety comes to me, or I don't know, there's another way of saying it that would be less attaching. Does that make sense?
Exactly. Yes, it makes a lot of sense. The disassociation from the pain is important because we identify. We do not say, hey, I'm Marc, I'm 57 years old, but we say I'm a chronic suffering person. So it becomes your identity, and that is very bad. In fact, it's a good question that you ask. When you identify with your pain, it's not good for your thinking. So as you say, we try to say, I have pain here, or I feel like that, to put emotions on what we are suffering from and where. We try to listen to emotions. That is very important, that arise. And the feeling, like you say, anxiety, for instance, what is good is to try to go further than that, but not too much. And that is where I intervene, in fact, not to go too deeply into an analysis from your mental thinking. But we try to awake the unconscious part of you to analyze in deep what is the pain at that moment and what does it want to tell me. I can give you an example, it's easier. What I do when I have a person who comes with chronic pain after several sessions, I start with the person a visualization to visualize the pain in the body of the person. And for instance, I ask the person, okay, you feel that pain. How is it? What are the attributes of this pain? Is it like a bowl of lava that is very warm? Or do you feel like it's your body is cut by scissors? Or do you feel an intense cold or numbness? And I give the person a very long time to think about that, eyes closed. And then I also ask them at the second step of this visualization to imagine that you are again a small child. A boy or a girl doesn't have any importance, you can change. And I ask the person, please now imagine you are again this little child and you are very well protected by a wall, but you watch your pain from that place as a curious child. And there we open the unconscious of the person. And that is fabulous because then the person, for instance, has pain that looks like a lava bowl in his back, let's say, or in the leg. And the person imagine herself a young child watching that pain from a secure place. And the magic after that is that you play with it. I ask, can you please now examine that pain from your point of view, well protected as a little child? Can you make this pain grow a bit, take all the place it wants, and then diminish in size? Can you make it turn? Can you make it jump up and down? And then there's something is happening that you feel like after the session, you are mastering your pain and you can make it felt differently than before. It's a bit of magic. It works very, very well.
Amazing, amazing. And is it something that you need to repeat with your clients a few times, or just sometimes, you know, doing that session would clear a lot of stuff for them?
It's better to do it at least sometimes, like 5 or 6 times with someone who is guiding you, because there is a danger. If you do it alone, you can be totally absorbed by the pain. And that is not the aim. When I learned that method, I tried to do it to myself, but I was overwhelmed by the feelings. So there is my role, for instance, when you imagine the pain as a little child, when I see that the person say, oh, it's taking too much now, I say, okay, come, take some steps back from the pain as the little child. Imagine that you go back, and you see the pain now is a very, very small pain in the horizon. So it's better to have someone who can follow you during the 5 or 6 times that you do it, so that you know after to do it yourself. And these triggers that can overwhelm you, you can master them, and you can go over them and do the session by yourself.
Okay, great. It sounds amazing, Marc. And what would you say to somebody who, you know, does live with some different, because I know there's obviously loads of different versions of chronic pain, but what someone who is maybe in that right now and feels, okay, they're trying to take medication and it's wondering how do they just continue to live in this way? Because personally, it's hard to even imagine what it must be like to wake up every day in pain. What would you say to someone who's just, you know, trying to kind of see, how do I just keep going with this? Because it's
and
hard.
What is interesting is that the people come to me after almost 10 years of searching for things that make them feel better. They tried specialists, they tried yoga, they tried acupressure, they tried everything. The people who come to me, they come as the last chance now. So what can help the people suffering very clearly now, to give some like tricks, is that something very important that you can do is to start meditating. That is wonderful. And if you feel it difficult to meditate by yourself, what I do is that I have an application where there are guided meditations. That is wonderful because you will learn a lot about yourself by meditating. So I suggest that to anyone listening and who do not do it now. There is also something very good for people suffering is to feel useful again. Useful, I don't know if it's good term in English.
Yeah, no, I know.
Okay, yeah. Yes, I will explain that. When you have such a pain, you feel totally outside of the society because probably you will lose your job because you have chronic pain. You will be paid by Social Security, and then you will stay home and not move much because you have this pain. And you feel so alone at that time in your little corner in the house. I felt immensely alone when I get the diagnostic. So what helped me is in fact to find another goal in life. And what I suggest is the people, if they can help someone else, that is very interesting. So if you are at home, try to see if there is an activity that you can do that helps other people. It can be anything. For instance, you put on Facebook that you are ready to listen to people who feel alone, or you go in an association of your church and you decide to give some time of yours to do something useful, or you decide to be a volunteer in an organization. That has a magic effect that you don't think about yourself so much anymore. Not that we think about ourselves a lot, but you dedicate your life to something that is higher than you, than yourself. That is fantastic. That is what I started also to do, to help people and to feel again useful because the society rejected us. We are not anymore good workers.
Yeah.
So if you
Yeah.
can do it, it's fantastic.
Wow, that's
Also,
yeah, it is. I can imagine you're also distracting yourself from
yes,
pain by
yes,
talking to somebody else, helping somebody else. It distracts you, so it takes the energy and focus off it, which just
yes,
helps.
yes. Also, what is very useful for the people listening is during 1 week to make a bit a kind of schedule. When do you have pain? It can be at 8 o'clock, it can be evening and 20. And when you have energy? So you will make a kind of a map of the time during the week where your pain is getting higher, and you will see what is triggering the pain. It can be, for instance, after a stressful conversation with someone from the family that you have pain.
Yes.
It can be after you watch a thriller on TV that you have pain.
Okay.
Like that, because there is a kind of, the weeks are similar, that you can then stop some things that trigger the pain within you. For instance, me, I know I like on Netflix to watch a thriller before, but now I stopped because I noticed that I couldn't sleep and that I was aching more than usually. So
yes, so it's
map.
nearly doing a record of what things, make a diary for a couple of weeks of
Yes,
what you did that day and how you felt,
yes,
maybe every hour of the day, so that you can start to see what the pattern is and start to see, first of all, okay, between maybe 11 a.m. and 3 p.m. they are my best hours. So that's when I will, do work that I can
yes,
do. And maybe, but as you said, from 7 p.m. onwards might be just a no-go. So I will just do something relaxing, and just even watching, as you say, what triggers things, like a conversation or a TV, or just maybe a rainy day, who knows?
Yes.
But actually paying attention and getting that information, because that information is powerful then for you to try and work with, instead
Yes.
of saying, do you know what, I'm in pain all day long, but is that actually true?
Yes, exactly. We feel like it's all day long, but mostly not for everybody. It's not like that. There are some sequences and patterns. Yes. Also, what I did, it was that can help the people. It was I had a look at my friends list, and I noticed that some are demanding a lot of me, but not giving. And I kind of cleaned my friends list also. It's very important to surround yourself with very positive people. Donc that is something that you can do. And also, this one is very known, is to have a gratitude journal where you write the morning or the evening some things that you find beautiful during the day or the day before. And just by writing that, you will see that you are not so unhappy as you thought. You can see that some things are beautiful in life. The first time I had to do this, I decided to do this gratitude journal. I was like, my God, what can I write? I didn't see anything good in my day. And then I started that, the sun is there. That is very nice. In Belgium, I wrote that. And then I wrote that I had a good conversation with a friend and things like that. And now, in fact, I cannot stop my list at evening. Like today, I will put, for instance, that I had a nice talk with you, that the sun is there shining, that I have a roof over my head. These are very small things, but it's good to take note of them. Donc it's another trick that I tell the people.
You know, that particular one, and even the one that you said before it, you know, they are things that you can apply no matter, without being in chronic pain. Just, we can create our own pain in our head, thinking we're in our life isn't what we thought it would be, and you know, oh, I can't see anything good from it.
Yeah.
But writing down that simple, because my dad used to say there's nothing bad that could be worse, and it's because, like, no matter how much feels like it's just so wrong or bad or horrible right now, there's always something. And even if it's, you have to scramble to the point of, well, look, I'm breathing today, so that's a win.
Yes, yes, it's good. It's nicely
and
said,
yes. Sometimes you might have to start back at that very basic piece, but it's an important piece, because you know, where there's breath, there's life, and where there's life, there's hope.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, there's a way, and there's an opportunity, and you know, so it's great. So so Marc, we have come to the end of our time, and we could keep talking, because I know there's so much more you can share. But for anyone listening to this, you know, there's definitely a few lovely gold nuggets of information for them. But just also, I suppose, letting people know that, who may be suffering or have chronic pain every day, that there are people like yourself, or certainly there is just you right now that I've met, but I'm sure there are many others who are there to help live with this, and that, you know, to know that your life is not even though it might feel so horrible right now, there is a way to live with it in a better way, in a better, manageable, nicer way.
Yes, there is always a way. And for instance, that I can give to the people listening, another trick is that you find a community on Facebook or another network of people who suffer from chronic pain. There are dozens on Facebook, but to take care, you go in that group, but look at the message. They have to be positive. Like people saying, I hurt, but I try this and that. There are many groups on Facebook where people complain all the time and they don't
want to
do
join
anything good.
Yes.
Now, for instance, I'm in a group with speaking French people, and we exchange tricks between each other. Hey, I tried that last night. It worked a lot. Look, that you can do. There are always people who, like you say, who want to help. Yes.
Perfect. So, Marc, if somebody is listening and would love to maybe get in touch with you to find out more about the work that you do and how you might be able to help them, what is the best way for them to contact you? Are you on Facebook or LinkedIn?
I can give my WhatsApp number.
Okay.
For instance,
we'll add that into the notes at the end.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Do I give the number now?
No, we'll
okay. Yes.
tag it on.
Okay. I'm also on Facebook.
Okay.
There I have a page that has my name. Donc in the notes maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
My website is in a big mess, so I will not give it again.
Okay.
I'm mostly contacted with my number on WhatsApp and also Facebook. Yes.
Okay, perfect.
One. Yes,
perfect.
And if someone wants simply to discuss with me about his or her pain without entering to the paid session, I really like to listen to people, what they live, and I'm always there responding to this kind of conversations.
Perfect. Wonderful. Marc, thank you so much.
Thank you, Fiona.
Chatting to you. Thank you for giving me the time to share your story in the hope that it will inspire others who are in similar situations. And, thank you for all the work that you've done in the earlier years, 25 years that you gave to others, in humanitarian work. That was amazing. That was amazing that you were able to do that. And, and now obviously the work that you do now to help others. So helping others was just what you were born to do in whatever way you can. So thank you.
Thank you, Fiona. Thank you for listening.
No worries. So thank you everybody for listening to today, and we'll put Marc's details in the podcast notes. So if you would like to reach out to him, they are there, and I will chat to you again soon. Have a great day and take care. Bye.